Don't have a degree, but you want to teach online? Or maybe you're already teaching online, but your bookings are low and you're looking for another source of income? Or maybe you just want to teach during normal daytime hours, not at the crack of dawn. Well, Outschool may be for you. Today, I am so excited. We are going to interview Rachel Baker from mercifulmornings.com. She is a VIPKid teacher and an Outschool teacher. We are going to hear all about her experience as a mom, a VIPKid teacher, and now her experience with Outschool. I have lots of questions for her, so I'm so excited. Hi there, I'm Brittany from BrittanyFlammer.com. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Let's jump onto the computer.
Can you go ahead and tell me about yourself, Rachel?
Yes, I am Rachel Baker, and I'm from mercifulmornings.com. I have been teaching online for almost 3 years now, but I'm a lifetime teacher. It is what I do. I've just done the online part for the last 3 years. So I'm also wife, I am mom, I've got 2 kids. My oldest, my daughter's 11. She'll be 12 this summer and is going into junior high, and I can't even with all of it. And then my son is 9.5, and he has high functioning autism. So that's a whole other adventure in our world. So I'm busy. I'm very busy.
What is your education before you started teaching online? You said you were a teacher.
Yes. So my degrees, I have my bachelor's and my master's, and they're both early childhood special ed. Apparently the Lord knew I needed that training in my life.
Funny how he works that way.
I know. It's great. So I did that for college, for my master's, and I have done developmental therapy for the itty bitties. I have done services programming for special education, different ages. I taught 3rd grade for 5 years, and then I landed with online. I had a lot of health stuff come up where I could not continue in the classroom full time, and so I ended up at home, but there were still bills to be paid. So I had to find something, and I just happened to see a friend from college who posted that she was doing this teaching online, and I had heard about it, but it was like one of those like make $1 million from home, it didn't sound legit. So it was nice to know someone who was doing it, and she kind of walked me through it. So, and here we are almost 3 years later.
Okay, so you've been teaching for VIPKid for 3 years. Have you taught for any other companies?
Just recently, I just started with a new one, but it's only been VIPKid up until the last probably 2 months. It's solid.
How many hours do you typically work with VIPKid?
I do at least 15 hours a week, and I try not to do more than 20, so anywhere between 15 to 20, and it just kind of depends on the week, but I also only do mornings. So if I can do like 5 to 8, because I'm Central Time, so if I can do 5 to 8, maybe a little on the weekends if I have to, just to get in that 15 to 20 hours, I'm golden.
Have you ever taught nights?
I have like a couple of times, not even consistently, like this is when I'm available. It was just, please, will you teach my kid? Or I needed a little extra money. I'm just worthless by the time night rolls around. And I used to be the opposite. I think this job has really messed me up, man. I used to be a really big night owl, and I wanted to sleep in all morning. And now I'm like, it's 5 a.m. I'm up and going. And by my kid's bedtime, I'm like, would y'all please go to bed because I need to go to sleep?
Do you have a favorite level to teach with VIPKid?
I was thinking about this earlier. I'm certified for level 1 up through 4. And I will say 4 is about my limit. I don't want to go much older than that just because I'm used to the little bitties. So I love level 1, but I'm thankful to have the level 4 classes where I can just sit back and go, now you talk. Because I just jumped around for half an hour and I'm tired, and now it's your turn. So I love the levels, and I've added the new level 1 that VIPKid just started, and I love that. That's been really fun. So I like them all, but the littles are probably more my forte, I'd say.
But you mentioned now that you 2 months ago started teaching, and what have you started teaching?
Yeah. So it's Outschool, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. It's just something different after doing the same thing for almost 3 years, which I still love and am doing. I'm not stopping VIP Kid, but I had a lot of people who would reach out to me and say, I want to teach online too. That looks like so much fun. I want to do it. And, great. Let's talk about the requirements. Oh, I don't have a bachelor's degree. And then like, that's it. I can't help you anymore. I'm sorry. And I hated that because they were really excited and wanting to do it and needed to work from home. And so I was searching just for any other company where you could, and I found a couple of other ESL companies, but it's the same thing where you have to get up really early or teach really late. Those hours are booked for me. I didn't want to add other hours around it to try to figure out a new company. So I found Outschool, and I love it because many reasons. One, though, you don't have to have your bachelor's degree. And so I'm able to share it with more people. They go, oh, I want to do it. And I say, here, have this one. And I can also add it in myself because it's an American-based company. And so you get to work American hours. So like yesterday, I did 5 to 8 for VIP Kid. And then I had an 8:30 class. It was just 30 minutes. And I had another one at 9:15 that was just 30 minutes. And that was it. And I was done. And so it's just kind of been a fun new thing for me to add to kind of jazz things up, also make a little extra money, and to have something to offer people who are wanting to teach online who don't have a bachelor's degree. So I love it.
That's so awesome. So for anyone that is interested in Outschool, what is the application process like?
So the basic requirements, you do have to be 18. My 11-year-old daughter is very distraught that she cannot get on and teach like knitting classes, right? I'm like, you got a few more years, sis. So you do have to be 18 years old, but you don't have to have your degree. You have to be residing full-time in, let me get them all, the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And it's just because they do a background check, because teachers, you're working with children. So, and those are the countries they have that sorted with. So you just have to live in one of those countries. Having a decent command of the English language is important, but they're not as sticky about like an accent. Right. So that's nice as well, because, people that live in a different country might have a different accent, but they still speak English. So there's that. So you fill out a basic application online, and they just want to know, like, what makes you a good fit here? Why would you be good to teach children? What's your background? What are you good at? You don't have to have a specific degree, but if your background is in accounting, maybe you would be good at teaching math classes. Or if you've been baking and decorating cakes your whole life, maybe you could teach cake decorating classes. There's just a huge variety of what you can teach. So you just let them know your background, what you'd be interested in teaching, kind of how you've worked with kids in the past. And you do a quick little intro video. It's like 30 to 90 seconds, basically just verbally stating what you fill out in the application, just so they can kind of see your presence on the computer, on camera. And then they do your background check just to make sure you're not a crazy person with a horrible history that can be with children. And then you go through and submit one class. It's just a one-time class, and it's just so that they know you can get comfortable with their system, because you get to choose what you want to teach. That's another kind of big difference.
So by submitting one class, do you like record yourself teaching, or just what you would teach?
Choose whatever your topic is. So for my first class, or one of my first classes, I decided I was going to do just a quick easy math class for 5 to 7-year-olds. And it was going to be on greater than and less than, because kids need help learning that. I can do that for 30 minutes. And so pick the topic, you pick the age group that you want, you pick how many students you will accept, because they are small group classes, and you decide your pay. That's one of my favorite parts. You get to decide what you want to get paid, and it's per student. instead of per class. So like with VIPKid, they say, here is your pay per class, show up and do it. With this one, you're like, I think for this 30-minute class, I will take $10 per student, please, and I will accept 6 students in my class. So the potential for earning more in a smaller amount of time is there, which I love. So you outline what that class looks like, your topic, all those things I just mentioned, how you're going to teach it, like what activities are going to be included because they want it engaging. And it's all through Zoom. They provide Zoom platforms, so you just kind of have to show up and do your thing and teach. And then they approve it. They just have some content standards. They want to make sure it's appropriate for children and you've included the details parents want, and then they approve you. And then you open up a section for it. Like, this is going to be available on this date at 8:30 in the morning. And they advertise for you to parents, which is lovely. So I think that's about it for application process.
That's awesome. That sounds much more straightforward than some other companies I know.
Yes, it is. And the hiccup for a lot of people is that course creation, because they go, I don't know what to teach. But it's a lot easier than it sounds. It just depends, because it's based on what you love and what you're good at. So you get to pick that, which is neat.
So you mentioned that you taught greater than and less than. How did you do that?
So for that class, I just made a few Google slides. Just like I came up with, a lot of times in schools, they teach the hungry alligator eats the bigger number, you know, and so I just had some slides with 2 numbers, and we talked about what those numbers are, which one is bigger, which one is the alligator going to eat. And the next slide is the alligator facing the big number. And we, oh yes, good job. And we just practiced that several times. Nothing really involved. I have another one that's geared for much younger. It's like preschool, and we're just doing colors. And I have nothing prepared as far as tech. It's just going to be showing up like this, and I'm going to read a book that has colors in it, and we'll talk about what we see in the book, and then I'm going to pick a color and have them kind of go on a scavenger hunt in their house. Go find something that's blue, and everybody will bring and show what they've got, and we'll do that for 30 minutes. I'm not prepping anything else involved ahead of time. So it can be kind of as involved or simple as you want it to be.
So if you're not techie and don't know what Google Slides are, you can still do it. Okay, that's awesome.
Yes.
Are there certain courses that are in higher demand than others? Or how do you know what students are interested in?
Right. So it is ages 3 all the way up through 18. Originally, this, I believe, was designed for homeschooling families, or provided for families who were doing homeschool. And it could be just supplemental things, or it could be, my kid is now in high school chemistry and I can't teach that. So they have like semester-long or year-long courses that you can enroll your kids in as well for that. But for the things that like I'm talking about, just a one-time class, or we meet just for 3 or 4 weeks once a week, you know, you can do some of these other little things, just because everybody right now, as we're talking, is staying home. All the children are at home. I don't know about all the other moms out there, but I'm like, please, someone occupy my child just for a little bit. I'll pay you to do it. Or is there a Pokemon club that meets for an hour? I will pay you to talk with my child about Pokemon for an hour because my ears are bleeding. You know, like there are things like that. So you can kind of look around on the site and see what's available, but they also, for teachers, once you get in, they send an email out every week. And there are, this last one was over 200 submissions from parents requesting specific classes. So it might be, I really want someone to teach my kid beginner Spanish for age 8. And so if you see something like that that's specifically requested, there's a link you click, go through, you create that class, and they notify that parent that requested it. So you automatically have a student. So you can either create your own content based on what you're interested in, and they'll advertise for you, or you can say, hey, somebody wants this, I can do that, and get students that way.
Are you going to repeat the classes? Do you teach the same class again and again, or are you going to advance it and stay with students?
So for what I am doing right now, you can do either one. There are multiple class types that you can choose. The ones that I'm doing right now, I just created a one-time class because I just wanted to get in and get comfortable with it. And it's kind of like, think about like university. You know, there's English 101, but there's hundreds of students that need to take it. So you can use the 8 o'clock class or the 9:30 class, so you can pick different dates and times, and that gives parents the opportunity to pick whatever works for their schedule. They also are able to, you know, they may see, oh, I love this class, I want to take it, but I can't do any of these times you offered. So they'll request a specific, you know, area of time or days of the week that work for them. And you can create, if you're available, you can create a section for that too.
Awesome. So if someone were interested in Outschool, how long, you mentioned the process is pretty straightforward and simple. How long from start to finish would you expect to take to get hired?
It has been ranging. I mean, you can apply and be hired within a week or two, really. But because of everyone staying home right now and the growth of students, they've been begging for a lot more teachers. Well, now they're getting more teachers. And so just the process of running the background checks, also with some of the offices that are not open all the time, that some people have had their background check done in like 10 minutes, and other people it took 8 or 9 days, and it just kind of depends who they're going through. But there's not been anyone that it's gone past 2 weeks that I've worked with. So it can be just a few days or up to 2 weeks, just kind of depending.
For you personally, your long-term goal, you said you want to keep VIPKid in the mornings. What is your goal with Outschool?
Yeah, I really, my goal overall has been to grow more of a business of helping other teachers or helping other people become online teachers who need to work from home. Just because I've had a lot of life situations where I have had to work, health or whatever. And so I see that need and I want to be able to help people do that. So I'm doing a lot more of coaching, helping with course creation, helping with the application process. And I love that. I love coaching almost as much as I love teaching the kids. It's a lot of fun and I get to meet a lot of cool people. So I've got more resources for that. So I'm hoping to just kind of scale back a little with VIPKid and still teach, have my regulars, not do as many hours. With Outschool, I want to continue offering courses in that and kind of experiment with the different types, you know, maybe they do summer camps. So this summer I'd like to do a summer camp where we meet 3 times in a week, you know, and it's just because a lot of people can't go to summer camp this summer. And so to be able to say, we're going to do a summer camp about dinosaurs, you know, and so 3 days out of the week, they know they're going to get together with some friends and talk about dinosaurs or read books or whatever. Things like that just sound fun to me. I think that would be fun to do. So just to kind of continue to grow and experiment and do new classes with them, for sure.
That sounds so fun. That's such a neat thing. So if someone's interested, where would they go to apply?
Yes, so I do have a referral link for it, and I will share that with you if you want to stick it in your description.
Yes, I will add
people
it.
can apply.
Yes.
But in doing that, all Outschool provides is their first name for referrers. So I would need to get an email. My email is mercifulmornings@gmail.com. So if someone's interested, definitely email me first and I can send the application link. But I also do have those other resources I mentioned that kind of help go through the application process, help with course creation, all of that. And they can also be found on my website. It's mercifulmornings.com. And I have a resources tab that has a bunch of free stuff. I love giving free stuff. So there's a bunch of
Okay, so I'll make sure that your link and website are in the description box down below.
Awesome.
So now I have another question for you. You teach for VIPKid, you teach for Outschool, you have 2 kids, it's busy. How do you manage all of that?
I don't always. If I'm just being honest, one of the best things I've heard that I have to keep in mind when I'm juggling all these things is that if you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else. And I like to do all the things, and I like to do all the things well. And so I have to remember that it's okay if I'm focused on doing one thing, if something else falls behind. So right now, this week, I've been focused more on, I've got more coaching sessions, I've got more people that are needing help with course creation, and I want to make sure to get that in. I also set aside several hours in the evening for my family where I do not work, and it's just sacred time. I've had to do that because my husband works all day, he comes home, and we've got, 3 hours, 3.5 hours with kids. And so I just finally had to say, I'm not answering emails, I'm not working, this is our time. And around that is where I go, this is what I'm focused on, and the dirty dishes are gonna sit in the sink. And then I'll take another day and say, this house is disgusting and someone needs to clean it, and I'm not working on this stuff today. So it really, for me, I focus in on one thing, and I have to be okay with what's not done. For me, that's how I do it. I don't know if it's right.
If it works for you, it's right.
You know it's going to happen eventually. Right now, this is a crazy hot mess, but eventually I'm going to take care of that. I am also blessed that at this point, doing all of these things, my kids are older. I could not have done this a few years ago. I could not. Anybody out there who has littles, it's a lot. I think it would be too much. You know, my daughter's almost in 7th grade. She can help a lot, especially with little brother. Might be riding the struggle bus that morning and needs a little extra help with things. So that is a blessing for me for sure.
That makes my heart happy.
Be at peace. Be at peace, mothers. We don't all have it together.
Oh. So one last fun question. If you could vacation anywhere, where would you choose? Money were no object. Where would you choose?
Definitely the beach. I mean, pretty much anywhere a beach makes me happy. It's so relaxing. The waves and the sun. I don't love sand, but I get past that because of everything else.
It was lots of fun to interview Rachel. Thanks so much for joining with us. All of her contact information will be down in the description box below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my videos. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Help a sister out. Thanks so much. See you next time.